Assalamualaikum and very good day to all students. So today we're going to continue with topic of GUI, graphical user interface. So last video we had done input form, whereby that we have several controls in our input form, and then we also had already done triggered based on the submit button here, whereby that when we click a submit button, there is a message prompt up into the message dialog box based on this coding. If you see this coding, show us that the input we get from the form will be output into the message dialog box. So today we not using this message dialog box, so we going to comment out this message dialog box, and what we want going to do is that we want to create a new form, whereby the second form, when we click the submit button, so the information we entered inside this text field will be show in the next form, such as something like this lah. So when this is a second form, when we click a display output button, and it will prompt up into this label. Okay, so the first step is that we create a new frame form. So let me name it as an output form. Okay, so I'm going to add a button here. So this button will be named as a display output. So I name it as a display output. Okay, you can change the size of the font. Okay, something like this. Alright, I'm going to change the name of display output in this code tab at the variable name properties. So the name can be name it as display output button, btn. Okay, display output btn. So you will notice that the name of the button has been changed to display output button. Okay, right, I will add another control, which is that label. This label will be used to output the data that we entered in the first form based on the event that we click on the display output button here. So what I'm going to do is that we remove the text properties values, and then let me increase the size of the font, then put it italic, and if you want to change to different font also can, right? So I'm going to change the name from the J level 1 to the output LBL. So output LBL is the name for our label. Okay, so you notice that this is for display output button, and this is for the output label. Right, let us do the coding. So what I'm going to do is that I move to source. So this is the source code for the output form class. Right, so you notice that we have two data members, type of button and label, which is that we already change the name of the data member from button 1 to display output button, J label 1 to output LBM. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to receive an parameter from the input form. Okay, so we know that the parameter that we're going to say to receive is my staff and my student. So I'm going to add my staff and my student at the output form here. private string my staff and private string my student. Let me change it, string to string. Right. So these two data members, my staff and my student, also will be become a parameter to the output form, because we're going to receive the data from the an input form. Right? So notice that we will receive from here. Right. Again, then we have a display output. So we're going to having an event listener here. So based on the action performed. So when we click display output button, okay, there is an event should been happen, whereby that they're going to get the data from this staff and my student, and will be displayed on the label. Right. So I need also to do some aggregation, whereby that this my staff, let me put this my staff, okay, my staff data member to be receive value from my staff. Right. This is type of aggregations. Right? So let me do for the my student as well. Okay. So we have already set in the output form. So you will notice there is an error here. Later I will solve this error. So let us do this and output button action perform. Okay. Before I'm code inside the display button action perform, we need to take a look into the input form first. Okay. So basically, because we want to need to know whether when we have a radio button, right? When we have two radio button here, when we select radio button for the staff, so this data should be for the staff. When we select for the student, this data should be for the student. In order the compiler know whether that data is belong to either staff or student, we need to add one more some kind of flag. I just name it as a flag, and then add the flag here, private empty flag, and then I will add this flag here and name it as a flag 1 for the when it select staff radio button, and flag 2 when it select for the student. Right. So I have this, and I also want to do to select ataupun or to output to call the output form. To call the output form from the input form. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to create new methods, custom method. So let me create a custom method to display output form. Okay. So this is actually what we're going to do is that when we click submit button and radio button is selected, all the information for text field, which is that for name, age, and department, will be saved into the data members. Okay, and then this information will be passed to the my staff, right? And then this my staff will need to be entered or need to be sent into the output form. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to add or create an object for output form in the input form. Right now, in the input form.java. So I'm creating an object for output form. I just name it as a again, just a second form. Sorry, is that show the second formula, and this is our constructor of the second form. Sorry about that. So you will notice there is an error here. So required string and string, which is that your actually is a my staff and my student. So I will send this my staff and student. Okay, this is my staff object. Okay, as a argument, first argument, and then my student as second argument. I also need to send the flag. Okay, either flag 1 or flag 2. Okay, I just give a flag like this lah. So here we actually we supply 3 arguments, but in our constructor in the output form there are 2 parameters, so we need to add another parameters, which is that flag parameters, and then actually I need also to add or to declare flag parameter here. Okay, and we also need to assign the flag, sorry about that, the flag data member with a value from the argument that be sending out from the input form. Okay, so you notice here we have this. Let me check. Incompatible type percent cannot be converted to string. Okay, let me check. Is saying that percent is not converted to string. We have my staff and my student and flag. Let me go to here. So yeah, this one should be percent, right? Not string. That's why I'm sorry about that. I'm wrongly declare the data type. The data type should be similar in the input form. Okay, should be similar here, percent and percent. That's why just now there is an error because I'm declared my staff and my student as a string. So right now that one should be okay. Alright, so we go to input form. This one should be okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is that we want to display the second form when we click the submit button action perform. So this second form object should be set to visible. Okay, so I give it as true. Make sure that it's true because you want to show or output or to show the second form, the output form at when we click the submit button. And then we need also to make sure our second form, okay, to be at the first form to set to be invisible. So means that this dot set visible means that this form, which is the input form, will be hide, and the second form will be display, right? Okay, there is still an error here at the output form, right here. Before that, let me let me copy this and then go to the output form. Okay. Right. Okay. Before I go to the output form, I need to call this display output form. Okay. Inside submit button action perform methods. Okay. So we select start radio button, and this will be called. Okay. Also, this one also will be called if we select radio button for student. Okay. Okay, so now we want to display the information. When we click display output, and the output will be displayed at the label. Okay. Go to source. So it will happen inside the display button action perform method. So let me check the name of output label. Okay, this is output label. Okay, so you have an output label dot set text. Okay, dot set text. The text that we're going to input is the name of the student or staff, okay, and then the age or department, right? So let us do that. Okay, maybe I can just copy it from here. Let me copy it, then I enter here. My staff got name, age is my staff dot get name, get age. All right. Okay. No. Oh, let me check again, because just now I copied 2 line of code, found it. So okay, I have one code here. Okay, department is my staff get department. So so this is for my staff, right? So my staff age is my staff and department is this, right? Okay. So maybe we can have this one. It's required as to, okay. Right. Let me do something. That here. So actually this one for staff, and then we need to have a selection whereby that this selection based on the flag. If flag equal to 1, then it goes to my staff. Else, actually it will be show for student, because the student don't have department, should have a program here, right? Program. So we're going to change this is from my staff to my student. Okay, dot set name, right? This one is my student as well. My student. Oh, what happened? And then this should be student STU do, then this should be student my student. And then student doesn't have department, so we should have get program, right? there is an error here. Required string. Okay, for no argument, method set name. Oh, this one should be get. Okay, so we have done a display button action perform, means that when we click display output button, so the output will be based either my student or my staff. If let's say the flag is 1, then it will show for the my staff information, otherwise it will show for my student. And then we still have an error here. So the error is for the output label here, because we actually already display the second form and the output form from the input form. Okay, so we're not required to use this main method to show the output form. All right, so let me run the program. Okay, still run. So we have click staff, then I click say Ali, then 28, and department is GMM, and we click submit. So the first form will be hide, and the second form will be visible. And we click display output, it shows us the information that everything given. Ali, age is 28, and department is GMM. Alright, so if you want to do for the student, so you click student Ali is, let's say it's Lim, age 19, department is SE, and I click submit. So it's display output, so you will have this data, the output. Okay, if you want to add any information or any button, also you can add here, right? Okay, till now we finish about the GUI. So we're going to do the GUI and database in the next video. Thank you guys.